There we go. Little adjustment there. I hope you guys are hearing me. I'm not sure if you're hearing me here. Let's check the audio. Yeah, we go. You guys are hearing me. Okay, I was testing it out a minute ago. And I didn't hear myself. So, hey, Tim, how you doing, mate? Monarchs Mocha is on the air. It's a Wednesday edition of the show. Glad you're along. Let's roll the open. I promise. Let's roll the open. I promise. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We are grooving. Don't want the internet. I'm in my home office, which usually is pretty good internet, but it's slow going right now. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. I'll try to fight through it. One of these days, DB will get good internet. I don't know when, but someday I will. It's a third world problem. I don't know, 22nd century problem. Anyway, here we go. Let's fade that down. There we go. Glad you guys are along today, Monarchs Mocha. Again, there was a time when we didn't even have this World Wide Web, and what do we do? How do we survive? I was thinking about that this morning. Back in the day when we didn't have internet, we didn't do these shows, obviously. We didn't do extravagant game notes and pregame shows. And as a matter of fact, you wouldn't have streamed audio on the road. You wouldn't actually, you know what? I probably should open the door here. That might help a little bit. All that'll do is get the dog in here. But anyway, I was thinking about this morning. Back in the day, and let's go back circa 95, 6. If you wanted to listen to a road broadcast, how would you do that? How would you listen to a radio call unless it was on radio? Obviously, let's just use, let's say you were a KU fan living in the state of Florida, okay? You wanted to listen to the Jayhawk game, basketball or football. You want to listen to it. There were not a lot of options. Option one was you get one of those team line deals, and that was a subscription-based. It was really ahead of its time, but you'd basically call a phone number up, 1-800 number, and it'd be the KU line. You'd listen on one of those team line sites, right? So you'd hear the game online via a phone line, right? The other option was, and this was the other one, was to call somebody wherever you're at. Let's say, and this happened to me. I did this in Florida, in Jacksonville. I called my brother at Texas Tech, and he put the Tech game on his stereo speaker over his phone, and it broadcast back to me in Florida, and I was able to listen to it in the press box in Jacksonville. That's how you did it. I mean, you didn't have what we have now, where you could audio stream, and you know, back then we had cassettes, CDs, or the big CD case, and all your CDs in it, like a big book. Now you got your MP3s, and I've got I don't know, 2,000 songs in my phone. It's crazy, right? It's crazy to think about it, because that wasn't the case that long ago. And you can literally broadcast, but the internet has to be it's the big one. I was thinking about this today too. One of the local stations here in Dallas was talking about this conference realignment, this whole thing with the Pac-12 and the Big 12 and all this stuff with USC and UCLA. We're heading to a world where things like AA Baseball TV, things like what we're doing on MixLR and on AA Baseball TV are going to be the norm. And I see where teams are going to really take the streaming thing to the next level. It's already there. The whole, Amazon and Apple have already got things set up for that. And ESPN and Fox are trying to get out in front, but that big monster's on its tail. And the sky's the limit for what we can do in Kansas City, because no longer do you have to have what you had to have before. Again, going back just 20 years. And remember, if you lived out of market, if you were a Chiefs fan living in, say, Seattle, you had to go to a sports bar to get the Chiefs game, who had the Sunday ticket. Now the Sunday ticket, which is now going to be on Amazon, I believe, is like a huge profitable thing for the NFL. And I wonder how long it takes the MLB to figure this out. They sort of figured it out. They still haven't figured it out because they still got these territorial rights, which has sort of hindered things. Major League Baseball is still very pigeonholed to the territorial rights. I get it. But you've got so many people now transplanted across the country. You've got, you go to a game, let's say, in Houston, for example. I guarantee you last night when the Royals were in town in Houston, you had a handful of Royals fans there. Folks have either transplanted to Houston or folks who have been Royals fans in Houston or on vacation down there. It's a game with so many games. People plan trips around it. And people move and relocate. Florida's, for example, if you think there are any Marlin fans who grew up, and I mean, they're probably 30-year-old Marlin fans, but say somebody in their 50s, 60s, did they grow up as a Marlin fan? No. Probably grew up a Boston fan or a Milwaukee fan or a Cubs fan. And those are the teams that resonate with them. But we got to see a world where they're making it easier. And this is kind of an opening statement, but I've been thinking a lot about that, what we're doing with AA Baseball TV. And what we're doing, what we're wanting to do. I know what Mark Brandmeier wants to do with the Monarchs. What we've talked about, he and I've talked about, our owner, about what we'd like to do, what Savannah Bananas have done. You didn't have this opportunity 10 years ago. I remember when I was in Gary in 14, we'd switch radio stations from 13 to 14 from the FM station there in Gary, it was a public radio station, to this one in Michigan City. Now, Michigan City's up around just a little bit around the lake here on the Michigan side. Indiana, just a mile inside the border of Indiana. Only problem was the signal was a directional signal. So it would carry across the lake toward Chicago and get right around this mile and all that right there. But going south back towards, say, Gary, Highland, that area, which a lot of the population, Crown Point, while those fans are, it wasn't reaching all the way in there. It would actually stop around the ballpark, and it would go down toward Valparaiso. You had a lot of fans there, and actually got more coverage towards South Bend than you did there. So we had a lot of problem. How do we get this coverage for our team, for all of our fans? And it was pretty simple because we had so many fans of players. And I remember we had guys from California, from Seattle, places like that, who were stretched out across the country. Their families used to tune in to the TV broadcast on the old site, and when they were away, they had to use their phone, or they wanted an audio call. They had to, they had to stream. The radio station had to stream. If they didn't stream, we were in trouble. So I had to come up with a plan to stream ball games. I knew nothing about streaming audio. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how hard it was. I didn't know if it was impossible. I didn't know. Fast forward all these years later, Gary was the first club to actually stream audio on the road in-house. Now, a lot of teams, say Fargo, for example, their audio stream was on their radio station, the big AM that they're on up there. St. Paul, when they're on the ESPN station there in St. Paul, was able to stream. Winnipeg streamed on their station as well, but we were in-house. How do we do that? And I remember being in St. Paul trying to figure out how I was going to stream the audio to this. How I was going to get it out, and where its site was going to go to. Was it going to work? Would it come out of my board? What do I need? All these things I was trying to figure out. And now we're in a situation now where you plug and play. Literally, I come on this show, I just do a couple of different changes on the graphic side of it, from the booth cam to this. Boom, we're ready to go. Tonight, I'll plug the laptop in, plug the USB in, and press play, and we'll be rolling. It's amazing technology what we do now. It's made the world so much smaller and made the communication. I think we're going that way. Going back to youth, yeah, exactly. I mean, you Single came Lubbock Midland, sketchy at best. Yeah, live things on the radio. That's the way it went. And what I love about this is because I was in that same, I grew up, obviously, that's my mom right there. My great grandmother gave me an AM radio, and she wanted playing bingo down in Temple, Texas. And she gave me this old Zenith radio. It was an AM, and I got all the AM clear channels, 820, 1200, 1120 out of St. Louis. I mean, you name it. In this part of the country, you got the clear channels, and they got the big power sticks, and you got to hear the all-night trucking show or whatever, and I grew up listening to late night games. There'll be KMOX or the WBAP here. whatever I could get, I was listening to, all that. And we kind of got away from that for a while because FM became the thing. FM was the thing. FM drove ratings. It was the demographics in big cities. In Kansas City, the demographic, that coveted demographic of say 39 to 45. What drove radio and what drove sales was that demographic, male and female. The formats became so specialized, but now that's gone away because now you and I, with satellite radio, internet radio, we can control our own demographic. If I want to listen to, say, for example, I'll give you an example. A lot of folks were listening to No Shoes Radio this weekend on XM because Kenny Chesney was at Arrowhead, right? You've got a channel for that. The Yacht Rock Radio, which is sort of like the Catalina Wine Mixer station. There's one of those. We have a playlist that Morgan can get on Spotify that she has, pregame playlist. She's got all that stuff there in files. You can do so much now you couldn't do before. You used to have to do, when I was DJing and working programming clubs, had to program it. Each club got a copy of whatever it was coming out. And the old way was, when I worked at CBS Radio, they would give you a disc of all the hits for that month, and you got all the upcoming hits, the top hits, and it was one company that did those hit disc. Well, now they're all downloaded. You get the new hits. It comes to you in an email from insert artist. Boom, it's there. And it's right there for you. It's amazing what we've gone through. And I think it translates well to what we're trying to do and where we're going with this. And I'm going to play a couple things that we could have done. We weren't able to do 6 years ago, 7 years ago. In just the time I've been back in this business from 13 onward, it's changed dramatically. And we had the capability to literally to flip on, and granted, this is not a fancy studio, but I have the technology on my computer to do some graphics and throw this in there and do something where we couldn't do it before. And I think that we're in a world where it's just changing. But the fun part about it is that what went away was that whole regional thing. That went away. Now, while conferences are taking the regional aspect away, where KU doesn't play Missouri in football anymore, which is ridiculous, that's going away. You are getting the ability to listen to anything, anytime, any place, anywhere. I can listen to a station in Perth right now, if I do this, to listen to a station in New York City, Winnipeg, London, you name it. It's all boom, boom, boom. It's amazing. And how we can do it. It's all mostly on this little device right here. It's amazing. Yes, Crazy Great Grandmother. She was the luckiest grandma in the world, almost as good as my mom. So, where you get it naturally. Okay, let's talk some baseball. I've kind of killed enough time there, but I was about this today, and just how different things are. Last night came your way from Cleveland. We'll be there again tonight. Last night, another long one, but a different one. This is the classic Monarchs, score lots of runs, get out in front, and the will of the Clevelands, despite them battling. I sort of saw them battling. They did, but I forgot they only scored the one run, 7th, 8th, 9th. They did fight back a little toward the middle, but Monarchs had a 10-1 lead at one point. You saw what this offense does. I tongue-in-cheek joked about this with Brett Allred before the ball game. The night before, you sat your leading RBI guy in the league, and and what do you sit? You sit him one night. You sit the guy hitting 300 the next night. I mean, it's amazing what he sat. Gillespie didn't play last night. KDC sat out last night. Night before it was Abreu. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you look at a guy like Chad De La Guerra, who went home deep again last night. I mean, he's a guy that's only been there for 2 weeks. He's fitting in nicely. I mean, we talked about who do you sit? How do you make this lineup card? It's a pleasant problem to have for Joe Calpietra. To be able to make that lineup card out, somebody's got to sit. Who is it? And that's the challenge. And Joe kind of looked at me when I asked that question last night. How do you go about that? I mean, how do you go about telling Casey or Matt or Darnell or John or Willie or whoever, hey, you're going to have a seat tonight. Love you, but you're going to have a seat tonight. Because they want to play. Players want to play. And they know it. They get it. And Joe kind of winked at me and got smiles at it. You know the answer, Dan. You know how this answer goes. It's not an easy sell. He agrees. Anyway, yes, Brad Allred, great guy. Good to see his kiddo Asher's a really good kid too. Good to see him out there. All right, so this is brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company. This is not the Roastery Coffee Company, but if they if you went to Roastery Coffee Company, you could get something like this. Well, I'll turn this way. Well, let's do this. You go to 6 locations in Kansas City. Again, the drive-through on Southwest is outstanding because, again, you can't. How many places can you go to a drive-through and look up and see an old DC-3 flying above you? Right, right on. But the Roastery Coffee Company, 6 locations in Kansas City, exclusive coffee company, the Monarchs, who also Jim Cumness doing some great drinks at Legends to combine coffee and booze. Yes, the coffee and booze, great stuff. And of course, you can also, you know, caffeine up in the summer. They got plenty of cold beverages. You don't have to be hot. I mean, it's hot down here. It's iced coffee time, so definitely the place to go. Simple plan for them. Finest beans in the world, finest coffee sourcing in the world. And that's what they do. This is what coffee companies do. They're not a big, they're not a national chain that sort of buy it by the bulk. And oh, by the way, this is from wherever. This is from Tanzania. Maybe we don't know. I tell you that they get the best beans, best source, best around. That's what they do. Process it, do the whole process fast as they can for you. The best experience possible. Fast is good because you got to have coffee fast, right? You don't want to be waiting for your coffee, right? So best sourcing, best speed, timeliness with that quality ingredient. Number 3 is a great experience, and you're going to get, if you want to, top, flat white, topped off, got it. I mean, this is not where you're going to have a head scratcher going. There are some chains. You ask for a flat white, they're going to go. And you ask for an iced flat white. You ask for a long mac, they'll know what a long mac is. Paul Morgan in Australia knows what a long mac is. You go to some places, they don't know what a long mac is. They will know they're at the Roastery, 6 locations. Yeah, maybe Asher cracks a lot of. I thought about this, Brett. I did have an extra hat that I gave to my mate, Joey Thompson. I had a Monarchs 4th of July hat. I thought about maybe grabbing that from Joey today and bringing it for Asher because I thought maybe I could just get Asher a Monarchs kit and he can go work in the Monarchs dugout. They'd welcome him with open arms. He's such a great kid. I mean, despite his dad's allegiance and his allegiance to the wrong side, we'd welcome him with open arms. I even told Asher, I said, Asher, I'll bring you an old Spurs jersey if you want to jump over in that bandwagon too. I'm all good with that. I mean, you'd look good in a black and white Spurs jersey because the only thing Asher and I don't agree on is the Mavericks and the Railroaders. Everything else, we're pretty much spot on. So, yeah, it was great. We could do that for him. We could do that. He's a good kid, man. Brad's a good dude and a good mate. And, I don't have a young son. I'd love to have had a young son. I got these great ladies in my life, and I love them dearly. And I don't expect them to share my passion of what I do. I don't expect that. But it's clearly obvious that Asher is excited about being around Dad and doing what Dad does, including riding the bus back, which, by the way, now I don't think I've told this story in the air this week, but Asher rode back. He and Dad flew up to Kansas City. They rode back on the team bus, which sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like I'll ride the bus with the team. Great idea until you have to sleep sitting up. I think Asher realized it was all cool having the snacks. They pull over probably the Loves and get them some, raid the truck stop and get all the good snacks, junk food, hot dogs in a bag, whatever. I don't know, Subway sandwiches, whatever, and all the candy you want. He's all hopped up on sugar. But then he had to sleep sitting up. That'll change your mood dramatically. Love you too. Good to see you, Ray Marie. Always a pleasure to see you out there. All right. Let's roll a couple things. I promised this yesterday, and I will admit I'm not done the highlights today because I was playing catch up from the day before and the day before. So we got them finally sort of sorted. I want to show you guys a couple of things that I did, and let's see if you guys like them. I don't know if you guys will. I did these last year a little bit, and they are there goes Max again. They are they're booth cams, okay, what they are. I'm going to take you back to, this is going to be Sunday's game, and I haven't tweeted this out yet. I will, but this is the kind of thing I could have done before the pandemic, and the kind of thing that we couldn't have done, I don't know, 10 years ago. You would have seen, you would have seen this, but it been somebody had to kind of probably do it for you. But now you can come in. What's up, bud? What are you doing? What are you working at? Come here. Yeah. He's just glad. He's glad that we're. Of course, he wants to be in Kansas because he loves the dog park. That's the big part of it. But anyway, waiting for it to load here. Last night, let's go to the ball game again. Kansas City wire to wire, much like we've seen all year when the Monarchs are on. That's what they do. And really, you're facing a good picture. Kevin Hilton's been very good over the years. God knows this league. He's had some success against the Monarchs. And, of course, when you got the run support he got last week, that helps a lot. But last night, KC got all over him. They got all over him early and often. Lewis Thorpe did what Lewis Thorpe did. The only drawback for me, and really for Lewis, I think he would probably tell you, is he didn't go get that one more out for the win. Brock Gilliam got the win. And say what you will, I'm not going to tell you that that was a balk or not a balk, because I honestly didn't see it. I went back, and it's hard to tell if it was. Probably was. Probably was. 8 times out of 10, that's a balk, I'm sure. I don't think the umpires missed those calls that often. What I don't like is in a game that's already long, and the complaints about fans being baseball's too long, baseball's too boring, baseball's too long, baseball's too boring. For fans that are like that, you didn't do them much favor last night by, okay, what'd you expect Lewis Thorpe to be happy he got called for a balk? Do you think he's going to go, yeah, way to call me a balk? Thank you, man. Way to go. You think he's going to be upset? Maybe drop a word or two? Not happy about it? And he didn't walk over. He was still on the mound when he got tossed. He's sitting on the mound right there, and he kind of looks, and he turns around, and as he's turning around, he gets tossed. So Joe comes out, has to argue, so that's going to take a couple minutes. Then you got to exit the ball game, bring a guy in who wasn't warm. It takes 10 minutes. That whole thing took 10 extra minutes in the ball game. When if you let him pitch, let him get the final out, sure, he's going to be upset. But now, I talked about this last night, having played at a high level baseball and football. The F-bomb and the S-bomb at the bottom of a pile is forgiven in football, but for some reason in baseball, it's not, and it's crazy. I don't know why it's like that. I know it's a different game altogether, and I was so very happy on Sunday. The umpires did a great job of keeping things between the dugouts of the Garys and the Monarchs separate. A great job on Sunday when Willie Abreu got ejected from the dugout. I thought that was great. So I'm not coming down on them necessarily as a crew. I think overall the umpiring has been great, but that extra 10 minutes, granted, it's 10 minutes, but we're talking about getting the game faster, making it better for the fans. That's not doing it. So you can speed up the innings all you want to. You can speed up the tween innings things. But when you do that kind of nonsense, when he's on the mound, he didn't walk over and get in his face. He just said, "What's up?" And he's Australian. "What's up, mate?" It's bloody awful. Probably what he said with maybe another word in there. What's he supposed to say? "Thank you for calling a balk. I appreciate it. Tip my cap." That's what he wanted. That's ridiculous. So anyway, what does it take to get broadcaster ejected? Why do you want me ejected? Is that what you want? I wouldn't be asking for that, WD-40. I'm not sure why you'd want to put me in a spot there, because I've been known to speak my mind in these subjects, and you trying to get them upset with me? Is that what you're trying to do? Keith says, "What was the game? What was the All-Star game? Was that the All-Star game? Home run derby?" Yes. By the way, Brad will be doing the home run derby there with Sam Brief, I believe. There, am I right? Let the cat in the bag, Brad. Sorry if I did, but that'll be next week. No, it wasn't a home run derby. No, don't get me ejected. But there was a story. And Keith, you may remember this. There was a PA guy that got ejected or was the music guy got ejected for playing Three Blind Mice? Did that happen? So it happened somewhere at affiliated ball. I don't remember where. Anyway, all right, let's play this from Sunday. Let me bring this down for you. Okay, this show is kind of all over the place here. I do apologize. Here we go. This is Sunday, and I want to play this for you. And let me know what you think about this, if you guys enjoyed it or not. The third is the pitch. Here's one high out toward right field. Drifting back at the warning track, at the wall. It's gone. They'll walk it off. A grand slam walk-off winner. Oh, man, oh, man. Walk-off winner. Oh, man, oh, man. A grand slam walk-off winner. You later. Oh, man. A grand slam. Walk off. And the Monarchs has swept the Real Cats with a walk-off grand slam. The third is the pitch. Here's one high out toward right field. Drifting back at the warning track, at the wall. It's gone. They'll walk it off. A grand slam walk-off winner. Oh, man. And the Monarchs has swept the Real Cats with a walk-off grand slam. All right, that was from Sunday. That's the booth cam. Don't know if you guys liked it. It was dragging a little bit. Again, my internet is slow and it's not in a hurry. But that's the booth cam. Something, I don't know if you guys enjoyed that, but you can see the highlight from Sunday. I also got Monday nights too. They'll take a moment to load in though. I was playing Monday nights, and we'll talk more about last night and get you ready for tonight. No, I don't have today. I don't have last night's highlights because that would be, as Keith was saying, it might take a while. There was plenty of highlights there last night. But I do have the night before's booth cam, and these are kind of fun. But yeah, the heart rate would be good to catch, right? I mean, that'd be that'd be good to catch. It's funny. I told Joe this a little bit, and I asked him the question last night at the top step in regards to Monday night. I don't think there was a man in that dugout that thought John Hernandez was not going to deliver in that situation. I think. Yeah, thank you very much. It was a 4th of July shirt, huh? That was a Hope. That was a 4th of July shirt. That was it was my, it also doubles as one of my Western shirts because it's got the cow, what is it? The steer heads on it, the front of a Cadillac kind of thing, and the old Texas style, whatever it is, but U.S. flags and boots and all that. So yeah, very, very, I love that shirt. It's thank you for the nice compliment. No, I don't wear snazzy shirts all the time. That's ridiculous. W40. Stop. Anyway. But yes, thank you very much. Speaking of, what am I going to wear today? Luckily, I'm down here. It's so hot. I have some of I wore my fishing shirts. It was so blasted hot yesterday. Kenny says, I hate when umpires become the focus. And again, I'm not saying that that was not the right call. That's not what I'm saying. It just, can he bark for a moment? Let him throw his pitch, get the win. And you saw Joe was motioning to the scoreboard. At the time, it was 14-3, 14-5. Let the kid get one more out, get a W, let him sit, and be done with it. But so we put 10 minutes on a game that, and I tell you why it was 10 minutes, because I took a break. I took a full break, which is actually, I waited and invented, took a full break, and came back and still had plenty of time to watch Brock get loose, get the numbers, and we started talking about something else. And it was clearly, it was well over 6 minutes, but by the time that whole sequence happened, you killed 10 minutes of the game. Again, I'm not saying that was wrong. I'm not saying that, you're talking about Brockmeyer. Okay. I thought you're trying to get me in trouble. I've been known to get in trouble. That's why I'm saying. I don't know why you'd want your husband in trouble, but oh well. But again, and the umpiring, I think, has been great this year. I mentioned that on Sunday. I thought Sunday's crew, phenomenal job in a situation that could have escalated. There was some chirping from both dugouts, and they did a great job of stopping it right there. Loved it. And again, I don't think that, I'm not saying the call was wrong. I just think let him say bloody whatever he wants to say real quick, get out of his system. Let's go ahead and pitch. Let's get this thing, because we had to say to ourselves 10 minutes. Granted, it's 10 minutes, but aren't we trying to speed things up? I'm just saying. Anyway, and that's the thing. One left out in the inning. No, we're not doing my closet today. It's ridiculous. I don't know why you're trying to make me. I don't know why you want to make me like a cartoon character, W40. I don't know what she's up to today, because she's been tutoring this morning here, and I've had a full morning. I've already been to the doctor, a dietitian, and by the way, can I brag? I've lost 7 pounds. I was there last time. How about that? Considering I'm eating ballpark food every day, that's not too bad, huh? I took my shoes off to weigh. That also helped too. Anyway. I was almost a Jennifer running umpire is back. Was that when you were doing the Bat Boy? The lumber recovery specialist, Keith? Keith has been known to moonlight as a lumber recovery specialist. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. My dietitian, I think she's retiring, so she's like really. I've worn her out. She's retiring. She's had enough. Had enough of this guy. It's like forget it. Oh man. Okay. Play you the night before. This is going to be a Monday night. Now, hopefully, I'll have some good news highlights tomorrow. And I'll just do the highlight reel. But I was working on these for social to put up them today and tomorrow. And I love these little booth highlights. I love to do these. I love the postseason in the wintertime. And I want to get. I got to work on this because I don't like the little. I don't like it at the bottom. Sam Breep does a deal where Sam's able. The Chicago voice splits the screen, half him, half them. That's one little thing I've got to learn. And it's not very hard, I think. I just haven't taken the time to do it. It'll probably take me maybe next Monday, a little tutorial on an off day to kind of figure it out, and I'll be able to do that. But I love these little booth games. It's hard to see the play-by-play, but on social, it looks pretty good. Let's play this. This is from Monday night. Let's play it here.
Slider right there. So another final strike here. Hernandez steps out, steps back in. That pitch was tailing away right there. So now they'll be moving. No reason to stand still, right? 3 balls, 2 strikes, the payoff coming. There we go, 3-2. And the right-hander deals to Hernandez. Line out to right, coming in. That'll drop for a base hit. 1 run is home. Here comes another. And the Monarchs have come back in the 9th inning. As John Hernandez delivers RBIs to right field, and Kansas City takes the lead. Oh, man, how about that? John Hernandez on back-to-back days delivers, and the Monarchs have battled back in Cleveland. 3 runs in the inning.
Third baseman.
A big battle back there in Cleveland. That was on Monday night, so a little fun right there. You pull the curtain back, you see me doing this, and this is not this is just the way it is as a visiting broadcaster. They've got this camera wired out from center field, and there's an arm that wasn't there before. The arm comes out, and there's 2 windows there, and I'm on the right window, but that arm's kind of in my way, and I've got to navigate it. Plus, I can't get too far this way, because if I get too far this way, that arm's in my way. I can't see right field, so I got to slide over where I can see that. And then there's a window pane here. So what I'm doing is doing this, because you actually can't see the scoreboard without seeing. Now, I could move over. I could move over. I just like that seat right there. I like that far corner because it gives me a better view of the plate. Where this way, I don't get as much of a view of the plate. I mean, but they have this cool, it's a little arm they put out. It's a wireless camera, internet link of some sort. And I at that point, and usually I kind of will take it, just kind of move it just a tad to the right, because it's right there in your line of sight there. And the way my setup goes, I've got my laptop here, and I've got a lot of space over here that I'm not using, but I like to kind of be over this side of the booth where maybe I've got the blinder spot here, but I'm able to see most of the field like that. So that's why you see me do this. But I want it because I see the ball and I want to make sure it gets down, and I want to make sure both runners score. So I got to make sure. That's why I'm moving around like that, not because I'm on a fish hook or anything like that. But anyway, I don't know if you guys like those, but something different, something cool. So last night's ball game, I talked about Lewis Thorpe. Brock Gilliam came in, got the win in relief. Bullpen got a little work, but again, needed just throw some innings here and there. Offensively, I mean, I don't know what else you could say last night. Nothing to complain about. J.C. Escada hit a home run off the fair foul pole. That was kind of cool. You don't see that often. He got off the top of it and ricocheted back in. Darnell Sweeney had a phenomenal night. Darnell was on his way to the cycle first 3 at-bats. I need a triple to hit that cycle. I believe last night, didn't Gary have a cycle? I believe they did. Can't remember who it was, but I did see that last night. Which takes us to the night. And John Harris going tonight for the Monarchs, facing Buller, the left-hander for the Cleburnes here in Kansas City. Already won the series, but a chance for a sweep. And something Mark said last night on the broadcast, and I totally agree, and maybe we all should say this. we were talking about King Bostic and maybe some of the numbers have kind of gone up a little bit with the ERA and the bullpen and some of the things where when you're going so well, there's things that you try to nitpick. And Joe even said in the pregame yesterday, he even said the top step, hey, we got work to do. It's granted, you're still, what are you rolling around along here? Let's see. Please no more. Was that a low light last night? I thought they had a. I thought they had a. You want that? Oh, that was the highlight. I got you. But what was? Oh yes. One of our listeners last night pointed out. Mark said 5 in a row, which is true. 5 in a row, and yet you're worried about the spot in the rotation. The bullpen had given up some numbers. The grand slam home runs. There have been all these little things here and there, right? Oh, walk off last night. Okay, I got you. All these little things that have added up, right? But they're minor. You're still winning because your collective body of work. It's like we talk about, we'll flip the coin. We'll use Cleveland as an example. Cleveland's back end of their bullpen is really, really good. And their offense is really, really good. They got some good power numbers, great speed. But their 3 bodies of work, their offense, defense, and pitching, are all 3 have issues. I mean, the starting pitching's been up and down. Their bullpen, middle relief in general has been pretty bad. The offense has been up and down. I think their offense is definitely rounding a shape. We talk about you have to sometimes dig to find that where you're really excelling. Kansas City, you got to dig to find where you're not excelling, and that's the difference. Does that make sense what I'm saying? For example, how can you argue this offense? Now lead the league again with average, took that back again. Home runs, of course, going to crack 100 by the All-Star break. On-base percentage, runs scored, things of that nature. Pitching staff still leads the league. Yes, ERA approaching 4. You're still a run lower than you were this time last year. And that was a daggum good pitching staff. And I think what you're going to see, you'll see the adjustments made. Joe looks at the numbers. He knows what's going on. He will make those adjustments. That's why, and so many people always say, in Joe we trust, because he is always planning ahead that next step. I walk into a meeting like yesterday, and he's chatting with Bill Selby. They're not talking about the bus ride or the hotel. They're talking about, looking down the week ahead. Who's going to rest, who's not going to rest. I know he talks to Frank White every night. After every game, he either talks to Frank on the phone or he and Frank are texting back and forth. I mean, he's getting that input from his team, from his staff. So again, in this league, you're always planning ahead. So I think what Mark said last night, hey, winning 5 in a row, you get a chance for 6 in a row tonight. That's huge. That's huge. Sweeping a series on the road, I don't care against who it is. It's huge. That all begins tonight at 6:36 in the pregame show tonight from Cleveland, Texas. First pitch at 7:06. Now, I want to see, let's do this right now. While we're here, I'm going to tell you and thank you guys right now. Some of you guys have done this, and let's just see how we did. I'm just curious because, hold on just a second here. This is the first, and I want to thank the folks in Cleveland as well, because what they've done is phenomenal, getting us taking care of us, get us on the air. I can find those for you here. And give me just a moment here. Great listenership on the radio side last night, but I'm trying to find a moment here. Let's just find this here. There we go. Let's just see. I have not looked at the numbers last night on the video stream, but we've had really good video stream numbers at home. And I want to see how we did with our numbers last night. Just out of curiosity, because it's the first time we've actually had the road audio with a video we can actually see as a broadcast. So let's just see here. Yeah, we had decent numbers last night again. So thank you. A lot of you folks are doing that, combining both the radio and the video element. Phenomenal. I'm very pleased with that. So it's very, very good stuff. So thank you. You folks are joining us on the Monarchs Broadcast Network, which again, it consists of a couple of places, AA Baseball TV, and we talked about the streaming earlier. AA Baseball TV. Again, things we couldn't do just a few years ago, we're able to do now. And AA Baseball TV. The one thing, yes, great fans. I totally agree with you. Great fans. We have great fans, and I appreciate it. The one thing we couldn't do a few years ago is do this chat back and forth. And what you can do, and I suggest this, and a couple of folks that do that, KC16 Gatsby does this. You get the AA Baseball TV for $14.99. Go ahead and do that. Home and away video, you're covered. You watch the video with our audio over it. But if you want to chat with us as well, just mute the MixLR chat, mute it. I'm sorry, not the chat. Mute the MixLR radio broadcast. It's the same call. Just mute it, and you can chat with us on the app while watching us on video. Simple as that. Really easy. And thank you very much, Keith. You're too kind, my friend. You're too kind, mate. You're a good dude, man. I miss you. Keith and I were two of the oldest dudes, and he was lumber recovery, and I was doing my intern thing that year. But Keith, you're a good man. Keith's a really good dude. Keith's a big. You know what's amazing is how we've got fans of our broadcast who are from other cities, and there's several folks from the South Shore that tune in, and I appreciate it because they get the league, they get the whole back and forth, and the chat feature is fun. It is fun. And you can do that. And where you do that on the broadcast tonight is right here. There we go. That's where we do that. MixLR. And again, you can do both. Buy the A Baseball TV. It's great stuff. Get the KC audio on there and just take the app, the MixLR app, and just mute it. And you can just chat with us while you're watching. A lot of folks have been doing that. Yeah, it's so much fun to get to know fans. Again, that's something I didn't get to know before. I mean, before, you get an email or a snail mail from somebody saying, hey, thanks for this, what you said. You didn't get instant emails and tweets. And I mean, John Updike does a great job of sending me stuff every day. I get texts from my staff. Jackson's sending me stuff during the game. It's pretty good stuff. All righty. It's about time to end the lunch hour, right? Tomorrow we're off. No game tomorrow. No show tomorrow. We'll be back with you on Friday. Now, Friday is going to be dicey because there is travel for me. I'll be going to Lincoln via Omaha, and I don't know if I'll get to the mill. The idea is to tape the show or shoot the show at the mill down there in Haymarket, which is where we like to go. We're in Lincoln, the Haymarket area, right next to the hotel, the Mill Coffee Shop, which is great stuff there. Mixed media. Yeah, see, Hope does it too. It's great. I think it's a great thing. I think it's cool to do that and mix it up, and you can do that. It's cool. And sometimes you can't, and I get it. Sometimes you're away from your device, or you're just on your phone, and it's easier to listen if you're in the car. Obviously, if you're driving, it's easier to listen, right? I get it. Appreciate it. But obviously no show Saturday, Sunday, but Friday we hope to have a show there at Haymarket at the mill, and that's if everything goes on time. Now, if the flights are late and all that, well, we've learned this has happened before. It happened before. We were coming back from Chicago. We didn't make it in time. And of course, yeah, you chat while driving, but again, that's illegal, and that's not something you should be doing, and that's something you should be bragging about. W40. That's why you get pulled over in Kansas by passing a trooper. I'm sorry, Oklahoma, my bad. But she is the better driver, she says. Oh, I don't care. I know you're kidding. I know. Anyway. So that's our schedule tonight. 6 o'clock, I'll give you a Monarchs Live, the lineup card, any news and notes for the ball game. As far as health of the ball club, I think that's all pretty good. Again, who sits, who doesn't, that's the only real question every night. John Harris again tonight, and going for the Monarchs. He's been very good. This Harris-Hartman combo platter's been pretty daggone good. Harris, of course, the complete ball game last time. Be tough tonight. The Heat down here, I would think that's a lot to ask. And a Heat in this matchup on this turf, but I would still think tonight is one of those nights which fits well for the Monarchs. I mean, I'm going to tell you that's going to be an easy win, but I like Harris in the spot. And I think, of course, the off day when Hartman going on Friday and back to Belzer and Bostic on Saturday, Sunday, they're in Lincoln. So that's the way things look right now going forward. So again, no show tomorrow unless I get a wild hair and decide to do it. And I don't know. We'll see how I feel. We'll see. Might do one, I might not. If I do one tomorrow, you guys stop by, but I don't think we'll do one. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, right? If I get the highlights done, maybe we'll do it. If not, we'll do it on Friday. Again, hopefully from the mill there at Haymarket Park there in Lincoln. That's if everything goes smoothly on time. If not, maybe we'll do a special Saturday show instead. Maybe I'll do that if we don't make it on time. If we don't make it Friday, I'll try Saturday. How about that? Okay? They're from Lincoln. All right, that's the show. We'll see you guys at 6:36 tonight on the radio side. TV will begin roughly about 6:45 or 6:50. Whenever Brad goes on the air, we'll go on the air with them. That'll be on AA Baseball TV. And that'll be tonight from Cleburne, Texas. The final game of the series, the final time in Texas for the year. We're no longer division bunkmates, which means we'd only come here once. Back in division play on Friday in Lincoln. So there we go. Oh, by the way, I tell you quickly, Kansas City with the win last night does have a 32-16 record. And that means the Monarchs are second in the association behind Fargo, who they've trailed by 2.5 games. Chicago with the split of a doubleheader, they're a game behind you, 31-36. But Kansas City leads Lincoln by 7, and leads Winnipeg by 8.5. So a little separation at top of the division. All right, ready for some 1, 2, 3 go Monarchs? I'm ready. Now you guys are ready, right? Correctly? Let's see here. Let's bring this down. Here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. Go Monarchs. I'll see you in the broadcast. Not everybody. Play the close. How about it? Let's do that. Let's play the close. There we go.